I need your art. I'm sure some of you are saying, Will, what do you mean you need my art? It's my art. You can't take it. It belongs to me. It's mine. That's not what I meant. I would like to, if you're willing, put your art on display throughout my Minecraft world. Because as you can see, there are a lot of empty spaces that could use a little more life, let's be honest. For new viewers, I'm trying to build a functional city in Minecraft, and I'd like to make it as realistic as possible by having industries that are built around the production and export of items in the game. Last episode, we built Steel Syndicate, a building based on the production of steel, or in the Minecraft world, the production of iron. But anyone who has lived in any size community knows that there is more to cities or towns than just businesses. There is government, residency, social activities, infrastructure, and also art. And this is where you come in. I'm just one guy, so trying to make the city feel lived in and unique is pretty challenging all on my lonesome. I'd like for this city to be a platform for anyone who would like to have their art put on display to anyone who watches these videos. And the best part is, it's not limited to just visual art. If you have music that you'd like to be played in the game or in the videos themselves, don't be shy and reach out to me on a platform that I'll talk about a little bit later on. Or if you have a story that you'd like featured in the city, we can do that too. Now, with all that being said, there are a couple rules, but not too many, don't worry. First, if you know what this means, this is great. Your art needs to be under the Creative Commons license, specifically CC BY, which boiled down to one sentence means I'm allowed to redistribute your work so long as I credit you, the original artist. If you're unsure about this, no stress, just look up Creative Commons licenses. With music, this can be a little tricky sometimes, so if you own everything about the music, then that's all good. No stress, you can just give me permission and I can use your art. If there are other people involved, make sure you talk to them first before giving me the go-ahead to use your music. So that's the first rule, Creative Commons license. Second rule is my channel is PG, and so anything explicit in nature won't be making onto videos. I just want you to know that it won't be featuring. I hope you can understand why I've implemented these rules, and please don't let it deter you from sharing your art. I'd really like this project to have lots of community input, and hopefully I can provide a platform for you, the audience, to share your passions with a wider group of people. And to demonstrate this, here's an example of what we can do in this time-lapse that we're watching now. The artwork that we're seeing was found on Pinterest. Links in the description to the exact pins that I was referencing. With Pinterest, it's a little hard to tell who the original creator is, but I'm trying my best. And again, I want to reinforce that this is not limited to just block art. We can do map art as well. I can set up some custom paintings in the world if we want something a little more detailed. We can use unique record discs to bring your music into the game. Really, the sky's the limit. As for where you can share your art, I will leave links in the description. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the time lapse, and here's a final fly through of what we've got. Man, I hate mining. Funny, isn't it, that a core part of the game I really dislike. But I mean, I suppose that's not true. I don't hate mining. It's just when you're working on such a large scale, like with the last 2 builds, mining really takes up a lot of the time, so it's a little imbalanced. And especially in this episode, we're going to finish this building. Let's fly out a little more. As you can see, we put a car park on the back. Well, I mean, maybe that wasn't obvious, but car park looking structure on the back, and we built a wall. with this wall, I was struggling to think of what I could put on the wall, and then it hit me like a thunderstorm that you could just put wall art on it, and instantly this blank wall is now awesome. We've got some AC units and stuff up there, and yeah, there's a little walkway up here into the apartment's upper floors, although currently it is very open and empty. Now if we come down, there's also another entrance here to this floor. We'll see what we'll do with that. Honestly, I've got nothing planned. And if we come down here, you can see that we've kind of blended the hallway, which we built a couple episodes back, in with the entrance to the car park, which maybe I'll open up eventually, which is through these loom blocks here. Let's just cut in here. So yeah, there's the street here, and then there's the turn into the car park. And I thought that was pretty nifty. And we got a little sidewalk down here going out towards the future storage area. I'm going to link the car park and this drive in here together, which will be cool. Anyway, I hate mining. Let's get back on topic. If you remember, for anyone who's been watching since like episode 4 or 3, down here we had a little cave. I did like a digging montage and took out this area. That has since moved all the way down here and all the way across here. So everything we see above ground was pretty much taken out from here. And it's getting a bit annoying, hey? Here's the other spot that I've been digging out. Yeah, this is where all the deep slate and the tuff is coming from, which is such a pain to mine, honestly. And I don't even have a beacon. So down here, we're going to build a tunnel bore, and then above ground, we'll build a temporary cobblestone generator. We'll also hook up a beacon in here, because I do need some of this stuff every now and again, like diorite or granite, andesite, you know. So we'll set up a... Oh, that's right. I closed off the entrance with the car park. There it is. Ow. So while collecting end rods, blaze rods for the end rods in the nether, we ended up finding 3 wither skulls. So we'll go ahead and beat the wither. Alright, let's do it. You didn't think we'd actually, properly fight the wither, did you? No. Not I, good sir. On a side note, I'm using a resource pack that changes the textures of redstone to what you see in the experimental features. And I don't know enough about redstone to talk on those experimental features, but I will say that the retexturing of the redstone looks phenomenal. So much better than the other stuff. And at first I hated it, but I've really come around to like it. It just looks so much better. And let's just plonk this down here. Yes! Oh, it's good to have some beacon action. Alright. And you know we gotta do it. Haste 2. Alright. Oh, this is amazing. Oh, come on. I don't know why I didn't do this sooner. Of course, we gotta look at the beacon with shaders. I mean, come on. Ah, yes. Sweet beacon action. Yeah. Oh, such a cool block. I'd love to set up a farm for this, actually. Having beacon farms would be awesome because then we can use these as light sources, which would be dope. Alright, now we can insta-mine this stuff. Oh, that's so good. You guys have no idea. Or maybe you do, but words cannot describe how happy I am with that. Let's go ahead and build a tunnel bore down on the deep side level. Let's go! Alright, so we did a good solid hour of mining, and we have this massive pillar here, filled with lots of shiny stuff. More diamonds than I was expecting. I got about a stack and a bit of diamond ore. So now, let's go ahead and see how many diamonds we get. Pull the gacha. Alright, pretty solid effort. We got about 2 stacks of diamonds. Let's just throw these into the pile as well. Yeah, like 2 and a bit stacks of diamonds. Maybe 12 stacks of redstone dust. Pretty handy. Bit of raw gold and some lapis. Pretty solid. Now the main reason I built that actually wasn't for the minerals and all of that. It was actually for the deep slate. And I stopped collecting it after 2 shulker boxes. And that was really early on. So that's working flawlessly. We got these here. You can see. Now let's go ahead and build a cobblestone generator. This one's only going to be temporary, so I'm not going to build a fancy building for it or anything. Alright, let's do it. Alright, we finished our cobblestone generator. It's churning away down over there, pumping out cobblestone like there's no tomorrow. You can't really see it because it's just out of render distance. But yeah, I'll go ahead and do some resource gathering, and then we'll finish the rest of this apartment block, which will be pretty exciting. I'll do a little voiceover for that as well because there's some stuff that I want to talk about. There's a couple things that I wanted to update you guys on. First of all, many videos ago, a guy called EasyVix commented and asked what mods I'm running. So let's go through a quick list right now. It is important to note that I'm playing on 1.21.1, so some of the mods might not be available for the latest versions. I'm using Fabric as my mod loader of choice. All of these mods can be found on Modrinth. Anyway, so let's jump right into this. We'll start with performance mods. I've got the Holy Trinity. We got Indium, Ferrite Core, Lithium, Iris, Sodium, and Enhanced Block Entities. We could do a whole video talking about what these do. Other people have already done that, so I'll link a good video in the description. Alright, up next we've got camera mods. There's actually less here than I thought there'd be, but we're using Gamma Utils for lighting at night. We got FreeCam, which basically allows you to go into spectator mode, kind of, and flashback. So highly recommend you get that. Everything else is done in OBS. Next up is the biggest list. We've got redesigning the Minecraft user interface. Let's just get into this. First one is no resource pack warning. Basically, whenever I'm moving a resource pack around, sometimes it'll give you a warning that says this resource pack isn't made for this version. So getting rid of that warning just saves a lot of time for me. Held item info. Whenever I switch over to a tool, you can see the enchantments pop up along with the name. That's a parity between Minecraft Bedrock and Java. Chat heads is more for multiplayer. Whenever someone is typing something in chat, a little chat head with the player's face and skin shows up next to that test. Next up we got Better F1. It gets rid of their HUD information but keeps the player's hand and tools. The same mod developers do Better F3. Now if you don't know what that is, it just makes the debug screen, the F3 screen, a lot tidier and easier to read. And also by the same developers we have Better Player Stats.
I haven't really shown that, but it's just a little nicer to navigate through all your statistics. After that, we've got spyglass improvements. Basically, spyglass improvements removes the spyglass border and allows custom zoom distances, but you still need the spyglass, which I think is good. It doesn't take away from a feature of the game. Next up is mouse tweaks, and if you hold shift and drag your mouse, left click or right click and drag your mouse across a whole bunch of stacks of items, it'll just move all those items into the whatever inventory or interface you're using. Next up, we've got another threefer. We've got easy shulker boxes, easy magic, and easy anvils. Now, easy shulker boxes basically gives shulker boxes the exact same functionality as the new bundles. After that, we got easy magic. And it's not really something I use, it's just for looks. You can leave items in the enchanting table, and whenever you get close enough for the book to open, the item, whatever you're trying to enchant, like a pickaxe or something, floating in the middle above the book, and then however many lapis you have in the enchanting table floating around it. It just looks cool. Easy anvils. There is a similar functionality to easy magic, but I don't really use it. I use easy anvils for renaming of items. It still uses your levels like normal, but you can change the color of the text and the boldness or whatever. So it's just adding a little bit more customization to whatever names you give. I don't really go crazy with this, but it's a nice touch to have. Toggleable item frames. Shift right click and you can make the item frame invisible. I have this mod installed because I don't want to have commands available to me in the survival world. I want it to be purely survival, and so if I have the commands available to me, there is a temptation there to just go into creative and cheat, and I really don't want to do that. And the last mod in this list is blur. In 1.21, they updated it so whenever you go into the main menu, whenever you're playing the game, it blurs the background, and that's just made available to all other interfaces like your furnaces, chests, crafting tables, all of that. Now it blurs the background of those as well, which is a nice consistency feature. Alright, so now we're getting into the really noticeable mods, changing aesthetics. I really want to keep this as vanilla as possible, so we won't find anything like the create mod. Some things in the base game I reckon can be enhanced, and that starts with better clouds. You'll see it in a whole bunch of YouTubers' videos. I really like them. It still keeps the vanilla square style of clouds, but it makes them a little more dynamic and have a little more depth. Next up is visuality. What that does is add little particle effects to a whole bunch of things like skeletons and slimes and all of that. You can customize it, and that's what I've done. So I've gotten rid of that effect on all hostile mobs, and all it does for me is makes villagers drop emeralds whenever I hit them, because I think that's funny, and adds water droplets to the water just to add a little more realism into the game, just a little bit, but still keeping it quite vanilla. Next up we got simple fog. You can customize the fog distance. It's just a nice touch. Next mod is glowing torch flower, and it makes the torch flower function like a torch. Next up is continuity, which adds connected textures for glass. Getting to the end of this list here, we have presence footsteps. Adds a little more variety into what you're hearing when you're walking around in the world. And straight after presence footsteps, we have ambient sounds. Again, just adding a little more immersion into the game. Skin layers 3D. It just makes your skin 3D. And the last one is model fix. Now this is real nitpicky, but whenever you're looking at a tool like a fishing rod, sometimes the 3D faces, they don't connect and you can see through it, and I hate that so much. And so model fix does a good job of connecting the two faces together. Now all of these mods have config libraries. There are a couple. There's entity texture features and entity model features, which are important for my resource packs. But there are two other mods that I use, which you guys don't ever really see. That is Axiom, which I use in a separate creative world to plan my builds, and Lightmatica, which helps me transfer those creative builds into my world just so I can build things a little faster and a little more efficiently. Yeah, let's head on over to our resource packs now. Now the the resource pack list is not nearly as long. We'll start with Crafty's capitalized font. I didn't know that you could get font texture packs, but this one is by far my favorite. It still keeps it very much in the Minecraft style, it just makes it better. I mentioned this earlier, we've got a redstone torch texture pack, which brings the redstone texture in line with the experimental features. After that, we've got simple water. I'm not the biggest fan of the vanilla water texture. I think it's a little outdated, like the old glass texture. It just makes water look a lot more plain. Quieter redstone. Now, there are a couple of vanilla tweaks resource packs in here, and I keep them separate because sometimes I want separate things, and moving everything over or nothing over, so I separate them out. And we've got quieter redstone, which does as it says and makes quite a lot of the redstone quieter. Vanilla tweaks 3D, which makes trapdoors, doors, vines, ladders, all of that stuff 3D. We also have Vanilla Tweaks Variations, which adds, I'm actually not sure what I'm using the variations on. I think it's bookshelves and maybe like the stones, like andesite, gravel, dirt, all of that. Very, very subtle stuff. I'm not going crazy with it, still keeping it very vanilla. No pumpkin blur, does as it says, gets rid of the pumpkin blur. We've got fresh animations. I like this one, but the only time it doesn't work is when we're in the villager trading matrix, because all of their faces are in the slabs, so it looks a little funny. And lastly, and probably the most significant, is AVPBR Retextured, which is another vanilla PBR retextured pack. And that adds depth to blocks like stone bricks, cobblestone, all of that. It just adds another small, very, very small 3D element into the game, which again goes a long way into the immersion. And for our shaders, I'm using Complementary Reimagined, along with a mod called Euphoria Patches. And there's a whole bunch of custom tweaks in there that I've done. I can leave a link to my shader pack settings, but yeah, that's all the mods that we've got running in the game. Hopefully that answered your question, EasyVix. And now on to the second point. Some of you who are invested in my videos may have noticed that the videos have been slowing down a lot, and that's for two reasons. First is the projects are getting much, much larger. It's not... Yeah. We're doing a lot bigger builds now. It's not so much, let's build a small starter farm. Now we're building full-on mega projects. So the time it takes to complete those projects is a lot longer, and that paired with the second fact is the major contribution to the delay in videos. The second fact is I've started a new job, a new almost full-time job, working in a kitchen, and so gone are the days of free time where I can spend all day making videos. Now, that's not to say that I won't be making videos. I will. I'll still try to get them out as frequently as possible, but just expect longer breaks. Because this is a new job, there is no regular routine as of right now. Hopefully we'll settle into it. But so going forward, videos will probably be dropping every 2 to 3 weeks. Is probably a comfortable number. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Alright guys, thank you to those of you who made it all the way to the end of this video. Unfortunately, this is all we had time for in today's episode. But I tell you what, let's pick this up. We are getting much, much closer to finishing off this block. We don't have much left to do before we can move on to the next major project in our city. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next episode.